Thank you for joining me for today's Gaia Wisdom video blog. Hey there. So this week's video blog is going to be about channeling the divine. And I have a few things that I want to say about this before I get into how that can be done. This past week, I actually sent out a question to the global change makers on our list. And I asked you if there's anything that you would want to ask me over a cup of coffee, what would it be? And I had a few people email me back. And it's something that I have heard before from other people. And I really want to address it in this video because I feel very strongly about it. And the question was that this person had actually worked with a shaman and for about a year. And at some point she asked the shaman, can I do my own soul retrieval, or can I travel to the lower world and retrieve my power animal or my helping animal? And the shaman said, no, you need to have somebody who's skilled to be able to do this for you. I've also taken workshops where, it's a psychic mediumship kind of workshop where the people presenting it said to those who were attending that no, not everybody can do this work, that it takes a special skill to do this work. I've also had friends who are psychics, and they have told their clients that no, they are the ones who have to be the mediator between the spirit realm and them. So now I'm going to get on my soapbox. You ready? Don't ever let anyone tell you that you cannot do this, that you cannot travel to the lower world, that you cannot do your own soul recovery, that you cannot access the same information that anybody else can. It may take learning some skills and some practice and trust and harnessing that intuitive tool, but we all have access to the same source as everybody else. There is no one who is more deserving or less deserving. There is not a single person in this world who can be more connected or less connected. We all have the capability of doing this work. We all have that shamanism side within us that can harness that energy, that can speak to the spirits, that can travel to the other worlds. There really is not anything that you cannot do that someone else can do. So it makes me really sad when I hear this being told to people, that they have to have somebody else do that work for them. Don't let somebody take your power away like that. Ever. Ever. I feel so strongly about that. And it, there are a few things in this world that make me really angry. And I don't know if anger is the right word or not, but it's pretty close. But people disempowering other people makes me really angry. People saying that they are more than someone else makes me really angry. And I have dedicated my work to empowering people, to teach you the tools that you need to go to the lower world, or to do your own soul recovery, or to learn how to speak to your guides or your ancestors. These are all tools that I teach in my retreats because I find it very important, especially at this time, for people to step into their power and reclaim that part of themselves that is connected, that has that shoe-in or that tie-in with the spirit realm. So I feel obviously very passionate about this. So, okay, I'm gonna step off my soapbox now and give you some ideas of ways that you can connect and channel that divine energy within you. And so one thing that I teach is soul tracking. And I came up with that term a few years ago. It actually came to me during one of my own journeys where I went down into the lower world first to find my power animal and connect with him and do some work. And then I met with my guides, and I said, I want to be able to teach and bring this work to people that they can communicate with their guides, because at that time people were coming to me to do soul walks. And as much as I love doing soul walks for people, I really found that the more I did that for them, the less they felt they could do for themselves. And so I felt like there needed to be some kind of transference of that tool that I use. So they showed me all this stuff, and one of the things that they had called it was soul tracking, learning that soul language between your guides and yourself. And so soul tracking basically is being able to go out, and nature is a great place to do this, to go out and look and observe and be aware and become a part of. And in doing that, you will start to learn how to speak that language. And your guides are going to speak to you through imagination, symbols, signs, animals, messages, intuitive thought, and all-knowing, like you just know something, creativity, art. Those are like 9 to 10 things that the spirit guides will use to speak to you. And so when you're soul tracking, you're going out there and you're just really observing nature. And you can do this in a walking meditation. You can just go and sit somewhere and really kind of see what comes to you. But when I'm walking, I'm looking this way because I have my office has huge barn doors, and they open up out into the forest. So it's really beautiful. I'll show you, but you're also going to see my light. Yeah, you're going to see my messy office. But those are my barn doors. All right, anyway. So you go out into nature and you really sit with this space, and you look for things that kind of catch your eye, animals that might come to you. You might look at a tree and see a face or a symbol or something. You look down, you see a rock, and it's in the shape of a heart. It's just a number of things. And you start piecing together these messages, because, like, if I ask a question, I'm not going to just walk out there and the first thing I see is going to answer that question, but it's going to be a piece of the answer. The entire answer may come over a course of a day or a week or a month, but I have to be aware enough to know when those symbols are coming, how I can interpret those for myself, and how they might apply to the question that I asked or whatever I'm working on in my life. And so in that way, your guides are continually talking to you. All day long, they're talking to you. They're the ones that tell you turn left, not right. Go speak to this person. Make a contact here. Here's a book. I'm going to show it to you 3 times. And so you start learning what that language looks like and feels like, and you start trusting it. And once you get into that rhythm of really speaking to your spirit guides and even your higher self, connecting to your higher self, you can do this with your twin flame, is that you really open up an entirely new world for communication and channeling that energy. When I talk about channeling the divine, especially in the meditation that I do in conjunction with this video blog, I'm more talking about connecting with that part of yourself that is connected at all times. So your higher self and that kind of energy. And so in this meditation, I have you actually write out during the meditation answers to different questions that I ask. And so writing, nonstop stream of conscious thinking, is a way to connect with that divine energy. And I'm going to sneeze, hang on. Okay, I did 3 times. So the nonstop stream of conscious thinking really gets you out of your ego, your headspace eventually. It moves you more into that subconscious mind that's more connected. And a lot of times people will, because the act of writing can hit that middle body, you want to just keep writing until you get to a place, and there will be a place where something shifts. And in that shift, you go out of your ego, mind, body, and into your spirit, heart center. And that's where you want to be. You may not notice the shift when you're actually doing it, but when you go back and read it, you're going to see a spot where it shifts, and even the language might change, where you'll start talking in a way that you don't normally talk. One thing that I recommend too is when you're doing this writing, because you want to keep writing, that's the key. You need to keep writing nonstop, just boom, 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 boom. And if you don't know what to write, you write that. I don't know what to write. This is stupid. This is crazy. Why am I doing this? I'm not getting anywhere. Dakota Walker is crazy, and blah, 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 blah. And then boom, it's going to shift for you. Trust me on this. It works. So that's another way of connecting to the divine and channeling that energy. You can also use that tool to speak to your ancestors or to your twin flame. You can ask questions and ask for that energy to come in. And that would be the energy that actually is answering the questions that you're asking. The other thing to remember is that whenever you do something like this, you don't want to go from like making dinner to channeling divine, or doing a bunch of work, getting on Facebook, checking email, and then channeling divine. It doesn't work like that. You also do not want to do this nonstop stream of conscious thinking on a computer. You're not going to type it out. You want to handwrite it. But set the stage, create that sacred space, and make it a ritual. Make it a very beautiful time of connection. So you might want to light a candle, you might want to call in your spirit guides, you might want to, do a number of things that feel comfortable to you, but create that sacred space with uninterrupted distractions. Turn the phone off, turn the computer off, go someplace where you can be private, do a little bit of a meditation beforehand, and it's kind of like you're priming the pump in order to make the most deepest connection that you can have. And the same thing when you're out in nature walking, just walk with the intention of being very mindful of every step. Make it a walking meditation. So if you're going with somebody, just make a commitment to each other to have some silent space, to enjoy nature and be in it, and not just, bulldoze your way through. I'm probably the one person that a lot of people don't like to hike with, because I like to take my time and I stop and I look at everything, and a mile-long hike will take me all day sometimes, because I just have to stop and look at everything and just be and hear and use all of my senses. And that's why I love my job so much. Most of my videos I do recording outside in the forest, walking. I'm choosing to be in my office today because it's supposed to rain. But, that gives me so much inspiration to just be out there and to be in nature and to be in that element and using everything I have to do what I need to do. And I have a constant conversation going on with my guides, constantly. That's why it's hard for me to look at a camera, because I'm constantly getting messages from everywhere. Like out here, I hear there's I think it's a wood thrush, and they have a family actually that fly into my office and out the other door. It's really amazing. But and I don't know what that message means for me, but I'm aware of it, and that's the point. It's like I'm always aware of what's going on in my peripheral especially when it comes to having nature around me. So anyway, I hope that helps. I hope that you can take those tools and really kind of play with it and learn how to channel your divine. And do not let anybody tell you ever that you cannot do this. You absolutely, positively, 100% can do it. Just take the time, practice, learn the tools, and be open and start living from that heart-centered space, and it will come naturally. It is intuitive to every spiritual being, and every human being is ultimately a spiritual being. So anyway, that's my soapbox once more. All right, I'm going to go have some coffee, and I'm going to sit on the porch and talk to the wood thrush. See you next week.